Okay.
Fine.
We'll be fine.
Done.
All right, go ahead.
So this
Go ahead.
this Kabbalistic model is more correct. In the center here, you see the Earth. And the Earth is the mid-garden, the middle garden. Below it are 7 more planets populated with other races. And what we're going to find is that this is where your extraterrestrials are coming from. This is where people are going when they think they're going to Mars, because these bodies cannot go to Mars currently as we are. Mars is a luminous body. And so all these people who say there are bases on Mars and all of this, it's a lie. They've been lied to. They are subterranean terrestrial planets, because Mars is not terrestrial. It is not solid. It has a less density than the Earth, and it is a sphere. Those stars are intelligent angelic archons. They are cosmocrators. They are beings. They are intelligent entities who are looking after us, who love us. The stars of the zodiac, the stars of the heaven, the planets, they are demigods. The sun is Michael, the archangel. Jupiter is Ariel, the beneficent one. Saturn is Cassiel. You will learn about this if you study your Jewish Kabbalah and esoteric mysticism. You will know the structure of the heavens. You will know the structure of the cosmos, and this is it. And there you see the concentric rings going outward from the Earth. You see the moon first. She is the first keeper of the first portal. She is a luminous body. Astronauts cannot go there. Spaceships cannot land on there. And yet it is populated with what's called lunar people. The Earth is populated with lunar people. They do not have bodies like ours, but some of them have come from the Earth. They have ascended to that sphere. Above the sphere of the moon is Mercury, then Venus, then the sun in the middle. The sun is the middle of the octave. This is a diatonic octave, guys, above our heads. Then there's Mars after the sun, then Jupiter, then Saturn, and this is what's called the luminary heaven. They are luminaries, stars, not planets.
And what
Above
about
Saturn
Pluto?
What about Pluto?
Good. We're coming to that. Pluto is where this rose is, the red rose, which is the lotus of Krishna. So 3 more rings, sister. This ring here now, this is where the firmament is, guys. This is the starry heaven. This is called the starry heaven. It is above the luminous heaven. So it is the 5th heaven. There are 7 heavens. 7 heavens. And
that's
in
where
this
that expression
heaven,
people say. They say, I'm in 7th heaven.
Oh yeah, and 9th heaven. For sure. It's all here. It's all here. This is our destiny. We are in this cocoon, and we are getting out of this cocoon through the process of ascension and Krishna consciousness. Call it what you will. Christ consciousness. For all the good Christians that are listening, all the followers of Jesus, that's fine. Jesus is a great God person. No problem there. I have no problem. I just do not agree that Jesus was a historical figure. Jesus was historical only in the transcendental sense. My work shows this. My work covers this. I have no qualms with Christians who love Jesus as a person, because I do believe that Jesus, Krishna, these are persons, because I am a person. I am an individual, and individuality cannot come from not individuality. There must be a primeval cause, root cause of all causes, that is personal. And so, again, people misunderstand my work. Oh, he doesn't believe in Jesus. Well, I've never said I don't believe in Jesus. Please do not misunderstand syncretism, because you will only harm yourself. Syncretism is the only transcendental theology of the universe. So this is the starry heaven, and Uranus, the father of Kronos, who he castrated, owns this sphere. And this is the beginning of the invisible spheres. We cannot see these spheres. And so all the stars are in this sphere. This is why there is no parallax and no apparent movement between the stars of the heaven, because they are all fixed in this sphere. They are lights. They are the sons of God in the book of Job, and they applauded at God's creation when God said, "Let there be light," when God said, "Let man be created." These are the stars that have applauded. These are the stars that are rooting for us. They are backing us. They are elevating and lifting and ascending our souls to reach that sphere so that we can be released from temporal conditioned existence, and that we can escape this cocoon, this cell, and we can go to unconditioned everlasting existence with the Lord. Because you see, in John 1:1 it says, "And the Word was God, and the Word was with God." So we will never be God. People say, "Oh, I'm God. I'm all there was and all that is and all that ever will be." This is not absolutely true. This is only true apparently or relatively, because we are God in quality but not in quantity. And so we will be God, and we will be with God for eternity, because we are eternal. And so that's what the scripture means, that Jesus, the Son of God, and by the way, God in this particular image is the firmament, the dome, because that is Dominus, the Lord. And the Son, S-U-N, is the Son, S-O-N, the sun in the sky. Now, see, this is where less learned people, less studied people will stumble, and they will curse me as a blasphemer and say, "Oh, you just said the Son is Jesus." Well, it is, because it is these archetypes, Krishna, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, or in our Western school, Jehovah, Jesus, that actually produce this universe that we live in. And they do it through the sun, because the sun is the ruler of our universe, whereas the earth is the center of our universe. It is geocentric, always has been, always will be. And so above the starry heaven there, you see the ninth sphere, that's the crystalline heaven. That's the crystalline sphere of St. John, who said, "I saw a crystalline sea before the throne of God." And then above that is the primum mobile, the 10th sphere, which opens up to the Empyrean heaven. Empyrean, pure, is hiding inside that word, and that means fire, pure. It is the land of the pure ones. And this is Krishna Loka, where there are many, many spiritual planets where we live in everlasting, unconditioned bliss, Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, with God, with the Creator, and also being units of God ourselves. And so this is the Western system, and I've just shown how that works in with the Eastern system. Can you see this new slide?
No, we're still on the old one.
We're still on the old one.
Okay, I'll fix that now, won't I?
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, because I just got clever and I know how to work it out. This is the Babylonian. You see the plane in the middle. So the plane in the middle is the mid-plane, the mid-guard, the middle garden, earth. Earth is an anagram of heart, which is an anagram of ether. And in the Kabbalistic system, Kether is ether, and opposite Kether is Malkuth. Malkuth is the kingdom in which we live, where we are standing on a plane. And you see there is a pyramid there with 7 levels. That is the 7 luminous, the heavens of the 7 luminous bodies. And below is a pyramid upside down with 7 planes or planets where subterranean people, extraterrestrials live. And all of this is floating in waters. Next slide. Here we have it, the ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. This is in the Bible, folks. This is why it makes me cringe when people want to defend the satanic Jesuit globe model, which is pure buffoonery and blasphemy against the heavens and blasphemy against your own individual sainthood, to even utter this filthy word of globe. It is perverse. And there you have God, the creator, and the heaven of the heavens, which is the empyrean at the top. Then you have more heavens below and the waters above the firmament. You see there waters. Probably you can't see it but my arrow is pointing to the waters. And then, of course, inside this dome, Dominus of the Lord, you have the sun and the moon, which are basically symbols of Krishna and his consort Radharani. Radharani will be really the moon, and the moon in the west is Selene, Magdalene, Helene, Helen of Troy, anything that ends with enne, inne, inni, Radharani, Selene, that's all the moon. Okay, and Paris is the sun, and so Troy, Paris goes to save Helen. It's the sun and the moon. All stories go back to the sun and the moon. All archetypes go back to the sun and the moon. Everything. Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I'm not saying that Jesus is the sun and Mary Magdalene is the moon. They are the chief symbols in the heavens who represent those God persons, those God archetypes. They are not them. Now, very interesting here, you'll see Rahab is mentioned. Now, Rahab is mentioned extensively in the Hebrew scriptures, and this is where Rahab and Sheol and the great deep sea and the abyss are, according to the Hebrew scriptures. Okay, I won't linger on all of these slides. We can elaborate later if you have any questions. Here are some of the scriptures that clearly point to a moving sun above a flat plain. I'm not going to read them because there they are, and the listeners can pause on them and do their own homework. Intelligence shall prevail. Here we have the flat earth against with the analema. This little red figure 8 is the analema. We're going to get into that because the analema tells all. The analema is the secret of all secrets for understanding the flat earth. And here it is again, the analema. You'll see that it is not a perfect figure 8, and we're going to see why in a minute. But the top of it touches the inner circle of the Tropic of Cancer, and the outer part touches on the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the sine wave that I use, the analema, to present all of my syncretic information in all of my presentations. This is the one and the same sine wave. Here again we have the analema, which proves the Earth is flat. Again, intelligence will prevail once you study this. And you can go to my Facebook notes. I have a note that I have written. And if you read that, you will easily be able to understand how the analema teaches the flat Earth. It does not work with a globe. It's preposterous. It cannot work.
There's a link to your Facebook in the description box of this video, and many other links. To Santos.
Yep, thank you. And here it is. Let's have a look at it a little bit here. There's the analema. These graphics were done for me by a flat earther in one of the chat groups I'm in, who's looking after me with graphics. That's Graham. Thank you, Graham, in the UK. He's making such beautiful, beautiful graphics, which you will see. That's how the analema works. You can see that the figure 8 is not perfect. Obviously, the top half is narrower because the sun is traveling slower at the Tropic of Cancer, and it speeds and makes larger circles at the Tropic of Capricorn. And the analema shows this clearly. Clearly. There's no mistake. The analema proves that we live on a flat Earth. And here it is here. As you will see, if we start, for instance, on the 21st of December at the bottom here, Patricia, where we were about 2 weeks ago at the solstice. And what happens is we the width of the analemma is 32 degrees at the bottom, and at the top it's 16 degrees, half. So you can see here that it travels far greater distances at a far greater speed toward the Tropic of Capricorn here at December 21st. And as it climbs up a ramp. We're going to see that in a minute. And it approaches the equinox here on March the 21st. Now it is in the middle, and this is a sacred day. All the tropical points are sacred. And then what it does is it travels a little bit further, 15 degrees, and it reaches the 15th of April. This day is the birthday of Sri Rama. Rama is another name for Krishna. Krishna is another name for Christ. The Lamb, the Rama, the Ram of God. Interesting that the 15th of April, the birthday of Sri Rama, is at the middle of the figure 8. This is so interesting that it should just stupefy your mind for the rest of your life. Then on the way down, on the 29th of August, you can see the 29th of August, that's when the sun again crosses over in the middle of the figure 8. That day there is the beheading of Saint John the Baptist. Now, already the well-versed ones in this science, they will understand that that's the head of the top of the analemma that is being beheaded, because as the sun goes from the Tropic of Cancer down the ramp to the Tropic of Capricorn, it gets beheaded on the 29th of August in Virgo, the Virgin, because you see Herod, he looks over to his virgin who dances for him, and he says, I will give you half of my kingdom. You can make any wish because you danced so well, you beautiful virgin. And the virgin says, I want the head of Saint John the Baptist on a platter. And the grieved Herod complied with her wish. Well, that happens on the 29th of August in Virgo. And opposite on the 15th of April is Aries, the Lamb of God, her little virgin lamb. And by the way, what people, or unversed people will be probably laughing at this and thinking, oh yeah, you just made all this up. Well, this will nail it. On the 21st of June is the solstice. Opposite is the 21st of December, yeah? The winter solstice.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we know that 3 days after December 21st is the birthday of Jesus, supposedly. Okay, let's just humor me here and let's just go with it, because a lot of Christians are going to say, oh, we don't know when Jesus was born. He was born in when the shepherds were outdoors and in the stables in the manger, and that was not in winter. It had to be in. Of course, as a Jehovah's Witness, I used to vomit forth such stupidities also. So, but now I'm able to correct all of this nonsense.
I've heard 9/11 is when Jesus was born.
Yeah, I know. Well, the fact is, if we understand the tropical points, we'll understand that Jesus the Son is always born on all the tropical points. He's born in Easter, he's born in Christmas, he's born in Tishri, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, he's born in Ramadan at the Tropic of Cancer, according to the Islamists. They don't know this, of course, because they have lost this science. But here we go. 4 days after the 21st of December is the 25th of December, which is the birthday of Jesus. Opposite the other solstice, June the 21st, 4 days after that, we have June the 24th, and that is the birthday of Saint John, his 6-month older cousin. Well, isn't it funny that the tropics, the solstices are the birthday of Jesus and Saint John, and at the middle of the figure 8 there, we have the birthday of Jesus, Sri Rama, the Lamb of God, and the beheading of Saint John? I think I'll just leave it there, because you'll learn about this in my note in Facebook about the analemma. I'll just leave it there because I've already satisfied the intelligent ones. As for the rest, well, they'll be the rest, won't they? As the scripture says, do not follow the crowd. Do not follow the crowd in their false teachings. And so they are the ones that follow the crowd, of course. Now here we have a profile view of what the sun is doing. You see this vortex? At the top is June the 21st, the Tropic of Cancer, and then the sun must go down a ramp-like shape. It's like a tent. This is the tabernacle of the sun in Psalms 19:4, where the Lord says, I have made a tabernacle for the sun, and he shall not, he shall dwell in this tent, and he shall not be able to. I have firmly established his limits and where he shall go like a bridegroom in his chamber. See, the sun is in a chamber. And so what is happening here is that the sun goes down, travels down to, it's actually much, much closer to the Earth at the Tropic of Cancer. Right now, the sun is much closer to the Earth than at the Tropic of Cancer. Now, I believe that at the equator, the sun is 3,300 miles above our heads, hence the Freemasonic degrees of 32 and 33, because at the equator, that's the median average distance of the sun above our heads. But I do believe that at the Tropic of Capricorn, the sun will be about, maybe around about 1,500 miles above our head, whereas at the Tropic of Cancer, it is very, very high, probably about 5,000 or 4,500 miles above our head. And this explains why people in Norway and Alaska see a midnight sun so clearly, because the sun is higher up. Whereas at the Tropic of Cancer in Antarctica, this phenomena is not so visible. It's different. It's not as clear to see a midnight sun for so long in the skies. Okay, I'll press on because I've got a lot of stuff here to go through. This is a funny one. I thought I do have a sense of humor in between all my angry bits. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on 4 corners of the earth, Revelation 7. Excuse me, the angels are yelling out, which corners shall we stand on there, dear Lord? Please help us. It's a globe, isn't it? Yeah, because obviously these are the 4 corners. This is another ancient map showing where the angels are, because inside the square of the circle, the cube, is a circular disc, and we're going to see that soon as we proceed through these slides. Here is another one, again showing there the equator only. It's not showing the, it was showing the tropics, but they're very faint. But this line here in the middle, and can you see the Celtic cross here, folks? Yeah. This is why they say Jerusalem is the you know how they have Greenwich for the GMT meridian? Well,
yes,
it used to be Jerusalem, yeah. And this is because Jerusalem, it does line up with the east. When you say east, people get confused. Where is the east on a ball and where is the east on a sphere, on a flat disc? Well, there is a true east. There is a true GMT or meridian where everything begins. And I guess only research will discover where that is. If it's aligned with Jerusalem somehow, well, I think it is. And we have to discover this. But I guess we've lost this knowledge due to the Western, the West being so brutal in attacking this ancient, sacred, beautiful science. Now, how are we going for time, sister? I have to speed up, don't I?
Well, I've set the show to go for about an hour. Excuse me, 45.
45.
Yeah, because we've got 20 more minutes to the end of 2 hours, but I can go 3 hours easy.
Yeah, I've set it up for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. So.
All right.
I hate talking now because while we're doing the slideshow, there's this horrible echo. So you continue.
Yeah, look, that's very unfortunate, really.
It might be your headphones. I'm thinking that's it.
Is there still echo from me?
You sound great.
Oh, okay, good. I'll
I
proceed.
sound like there's 2 of me. So you continue.
Alrighty. Now, this is how the Eastern system depicts the center North Pole. This is Mount Sumeru. Please, 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 I urge everyone, pay attention to this word Sumeru. In the East, in the West, in the Hebrew system, this is Mount Moriah, where Abraham sacrificed Isaac, or intended to. This is Mount Meru. This is Mount Sinai. This is Mount Zion. This is where magnetic mountain in the center, which is gyroscopically holding the sun in its course. This is where it all is, guys. And the top, Jehovah or Brahma, that's where the Lord of this particular universe is dwelling. Okay, I know I've lost a lot of people who don't believe in the sacred ancient mythologies, but that's too bad, because this is the truth. And here we have Hollywood in their movies depicting it. There's this mountain. There's always a mountain. I'll have to do this one by one. There's the mountain. Hollywood is rubbing it in our noses. There's the mountain. It's in the center of what we call where the North Pole is. And it's the color of it is lapis blue. You cannot see it. It blends with the sky. This is why a lot of people are in disbelief. They've probably flown near it but have not been able to see it, because it is blue, lapis blue mountain. And they're showing it here. They're showing it pretty clearly, are they not? There's Pink Floyd showing this central beautiful mountain pillar in the middle of the earth, in the Midgard. Here it is in another system. We see Mount Moriah in the middle of the world, and then there's the Ouroboros. Unfortunately, the resolution on this graphic is not very good, but this is the head of the serpent here, and you see layers of planets below the earth. Now, this one should be very interesting. The spinal column in the East is called Meru Danda. Now, Danda, that's an anagram for Adam, and I've done a lot of work on atom and Adam and showing how we have an atomic language, hence etymology, the science of atom words. All words are atomic, all things are atomic. The universe is atum, all is atum. Hence, Merudanda is the middle mountain of your body, the spinal column, the spinal cord. And this is what Ecclesiastes 12:6 is referring to. Remember him before the silver cord, the spinal cord, is severed and the golden bowl is broken, before the pitcher is shattered at the spring and the wheel broken at the well. Let me proceed forward. Here is the cosmological, this is the cosmological man of our cosmos. And this is the planetary system, how it is depicted. You see the pyramids in the middle here. There are 7 planes below us and 7 above us, and we are in the middle. And these are 2 diatonic octaves. 1 octave is inferior, 1 is superior. 1 is gross, 1 is subtle. And our earth is made of subtle and gross. Our middle garden is a mixture. But always there is a cosmological man. So when you look up to the stars, as Proclus said, the Neoplatonist 1600 years ago, you are looking at the cells of the mind of the God, the demigod. Because this is Brahma who has created our universe through the power of Krishna and Vishnu. But Brahma is a demigod. He is not a god. He is not the prime creator. He is a demigod. Jehovah is a demigod in the Hebrew scriptures.
I hate to do this and talk, but I need to say this, so please excuse the echo. We'll try to fix it later after the slideshow. But people are using their Nikon P900 cameras to take pictures of the stars, and they're seeing images unlike what NASA presents. Excuse me, I mean the planets, what we call the wandering stars. And they're seeing what looks like amoebas, cells. Do you think there's a connection?
Yes, they are sacred geometrical forms. They are not solid. They are called solids because they are platonic solids. So the ancients would refer to them as solids, but they are not material. They are not. They are not physical. They're subtle. They are a different subtle physical kind of luminous bodies. And yes, and you are right. We have good cameras now, and we are seeing the true nature of Venus. Please don't look at any NASA images of any of those bodies, people. You will be deceived. You will be fooled. You will do harm to yourselves. There are plenty of researchers with good cameras who are not funded by any satanic, demonic worshipping organizations like NASA and the Jesuits, who are showing clearly the nature of these beautiful orbs, these beautiful luminous archangelic cosmocrators of our universe. Now, I want to bring your attention to the astrolabe. The astrolabe was the forerunner to the sextant, and for hundreds and thousands of years, the astrolabe was constructed in such a manner. At the bottom here, you will see the Earth disk, and look at the name of the Earth disk. It is called matter. Can you see that word there, Patricia?
Yes, unbelievable.
Okay, that's Mother. That's Mother Earth. That's why we call her Mother Earth. Matter. She is the ring of matter. She is our mother, and we're going to see how that relates to the Taurus field in a minute. I won't spend much time on that, but have a look at the astrolabe and understand these things. This is sacred science. This is not pseudoscience. This is how all the Coriolis effect and all of the winds and toroidal fields are created on the flat Earth plane by the sun and the moon. Oops. Okay. So there you see the mid-plane, the mid-guard, in between two dome-like structures. This is the firmament, the Van Allen belt, and associated with it. This is the great master vortex of our universe. There are many of these universes. We are not the only one. You see, it upsets me when I see churchgoers making flat earth videos who are saying that the reason for the globe is to pull us away from the creator, which is true. But then they go on to say, oh, and it's because we are the only ones and we are unique here and special, and this is the only place like it. This is not true. There are many planets. There are many systems like this throughout the universe. Many parallel universes, both physical and spiritual. 1/4 of the universe is physical and contains physical planets. 3/4 are spiritual. And those are blissful planets where we are headed. This is what's going on. You see the tree, the Yggdrasil tree in the middle of the middle garden to the left. Then you see a galaxy being created inside of an apple. And then you see erroneously here a ball, a globe, Earth inside the toroidal field. Then you see an apple over here. These are the apples of Apollo. Inside the apple is a core. Core means heart. The man here is in the middle of his own toroidal field. He has a heart, a core, like an apple. We are apples. We are Yggdrasil trees. We are all of this and more. And here is a beautiful picture that you can get on Amazon about the atom. And notice the electron clouds. There are 2 electron clouds separated by a middle garden. This is the way this is the way atoms work. An atom is a sphere. It is a toroidal field. And here again we have more cosmology. This is why the ancients said that the Earth was flat and supported by elephants. Of course, it's not physical elephants. The elephant is a toroidal field, just as the torus is a torus field. And here we see the cow holding up the world. Well, that's a cow is a torus, which is a torus field. Certainly they weren't so stupid as to think that animals are holding up such a heavy structure. And the tortoise, well, have a look at the word turtle, tortoise, toroidal. The elephant, again, these are all animals that symbolize physical energies. They are not real animals. We're not so stupid to believe this. Above here is the glyph for Pisces. As you can see, it's a torus field, 2 fish. The fish is not a physical fish. It is a sacred geometrical form. Sorry to speak like this, but, I mean, we're now in primary school, so I'm being a very emphatic teacher now, am I not? Probably irritating a lot of people, but I hope I'm getting the message across. You see, apple is the same as apis. Apis is the bull, the taurus, the cow that the Islamists say is holding up the earth. It's the same as a tree, arbor. Arbor is an anagram for abra. Abra is abracadabra, which is abrasion, which is the way the world, these torus fields have to do with the process of abrasion. We have a positive and a negative electrical force field created, centered by magnetism, which creates an arbor, a tree-like structure. They are apples, apices. Here we have all these words here you see here, they all come from earth. They are all anagrams of earth. Heart, earth, ether, death, because when you come to earth, you are baptized in death with a body in the shape of a T. When you outstretch your arms, that is the Vitruvian Man of Leonardo da Vinci. He's trying to tell you that your T-shaped body is your atomy. You're an atomy. Adamy. We are all children of Adam. We are all children of the atom. So when you acquire a body, you've been baptized in death in a tomb. We come from a womb and we go to a tomb. Again, you see the verb are, to be. To be is the verb is, which is Isis. So the earth is Isis. Again, the word hear comes from earth, to hear with your ear. Hate is an anagram for earth because we hold hate in our heart. So hate is an anagram of heart. We shed a tear from our heart. Our heart has a rate. There, the word breath, we have a rate of breathing, which produces heat. Again, heat is an anagram of earth, heart. Thea, the goddess of the earth, comes from heart. The definite article. Rhea is also Ra. Ra is hiding in the word heart and earth. To eat, because this heart is eating electrical electrons. We eat electrons. All of this cooked food, all of this meat, this is putrid, acidic rubbish we're putting into our bodies and harming our bodies. We need to eat electrons, and that's what the word earth is teaching us. Here again, remember the astrolabe and the word mata? Well, in Hindu, in Sanskrit, the cow is mata, and mata is backwards for atom. Adam. We are all Adamites. We all have an anatomy, and when we study words, we study etymology, and the Hindus called that Atma. And why is Krishna always playing with his cows? Krishna, Rama, the ram, the Lamb of God, Christ Jesus, the Lamb, because Aries and the cow are the first animals on the ecliptic. They are the first symbols on the sine wave. And so you see every Jesus, and you and I, Patricia, are Jesuses. We are the Word made flesh, and we are torus fields. So matter is a torus field, a cow. I hope I'm not being too emphatic here.
No, you're being great. And I do want to let everyone know that I'm not interjecting with questions because of this horrendous echo. And hopefully after the slideshow, we'll resolve it.
Yeah. Okay, here's something I want to correct once and for all time. There's a lot of flat earth truthers out there that are pointing to Pythagoras as the origin of this erroneous, stupid ball model. And I'm going to correct this. It was not Pythagoras, it was Aristotle. Aristotle is a materialist, speculative philosopher, an empiricist. We are not of that sort. We have grown up. We're out of kindergarten now. We are transcendental scientists. Our understanding is transcendental, mystical, M-Y-S-T, fire, not M-I-S-T, water. We do not have the baptism of water, we have the baptism of fire, and hence we are M-Y-S-T, baptized mystics. And Pythagoras was the greatest genius mystic of all time, and so was Plato. And so they would not have taught such buffoonery. And here is some book here where L. Boston writes, The Pythagorean Doctrine. Not at all the Pythagorean doctrine is by no means idolatrous. It is the very opposite and is deservedly spoken of by many fathers of the church. Here is what St. Cyril says. We see plainly, says this father, that Pythagoras maintained that there was but one God, the original and cause of all things, who enlightens everything, animates everything, and from whom everything proceeds, who has given being to all things and is the source of all motion. Then we have Plutarch saying, speaking of the opinions of Pythagoras, says on page 67 of the first volume of his works, Pythagoras believed that the earth moved and did not occupy the center of the world, but that it had a circular motion around the sun, the region of fire, and formed thus the days and nights. Okay, well, Pythagoras would have been speaking about a sphere, and that everything moves in that everything does move, because all the particles of the earth do move, but the earth does not move of itself necessarily. So Plutarch, writing 700 years after Pythagoras, would have been indoctrinated by the materialist peripatetic school of Aristotle, who parted company with Plato, because Plato was Pythagorean and a Hermetist, of course, teaching the true cosmology, and Aristotle is the source of the ball. Please, people, please stop making this mistake. It needs to be corrected. Pythagoras was a genius, and he would not have spoken such stupidity. And the whole Western world is actually Aristotelian. The Neoplatonists that prospered for about 300 years around the 3rd, 4th, and 5th century of our common era, Justinian the Emperor shut down the Neoplatonic schools, which were the true schools of transcendental science, and introduced Aristotelian speculative philosophy, and we are still suffering under this mode. So let us please grow out of Aristotelian buffoonery and all of this trivium stuff, and grow up and inherit the quadrivium and transcendental mythology, cosmology, and science. So I hope I've corrected that for all the good folk out there.
I find it interesting that that thing you just showed on the slide was titled The Morning Star, being that Lucifer is taken from Latin and means the morning star, bringer of dawn, light bringer. Interesting that was called that.
Yeah, and the evening star is Hesperus. So Phosphorus, the morning star, brings... This is the sun. This is Perseus in the morning slaying Medusa. This is Prometheus bringing fire to mankind and being punished. This is Jesus coming down to save humanity and being sacrificed and tortured. This is the sun. It is the sun. I'm not saying that, you know, they are not persons. I am just saying This is where so many people get so confused with astrotheology and syncretism and think that I am becoming anthropomorphic in the vein of impersonalists. I am not an impersonalist. I believe that everything is imbued with being and person and radiating with intelligence and God. All is God, you know. I don't know where these unintelligent people get off to put me in that boat with impersonalists. I'm not a monist. I'm not an impersonalist. I'm not a nihilist. I'm not a voidist. I am a personalist. I believe Krishna, the creator, the prime creator, is a being, a person who is good and embodies all of the principles of the universe: beauty, goodness, all virtues, power, knowledge. And we have parts, parcels, and particles of this being. So here we have the National Aeronautics and Space Administration saying in a report, in their official report, this report derives and defines a set of linearized system matrices for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Now, why would they bother to train in this mode over a stationary, non-rotating Earth? Simply because it is. Because otherwise you'd be confusing people. It'd be tantamount to putting square wheels, training wheels on your children's push bikes to train them so that they can ride better with circular wheels. It doesn't make sense. And here we have bold flat earthers from the past offering thousands and thousands of dollars to provide any information, any proof of a provable proof, of course, or provable evidence that the Earth is a ball. And they obviously didn't get very far because no one came forward. This slide here shows the vanishing point, why the sun appears to set, because all lines converge on the horizon and everything vanishes. The flat Earth vanishes, the sky vanishes, the clouds vanish, the sun vanishes. And from our perspective, from our vantage point, but if we travel further on this flat plane, the sun will always come to meet us. It's obvious. Again, I won't linger here. There it is. I mean, just saying. I'll just say nothing. I'll just leave that there, please. There's probably about 3,000 miles of terrestrial plane. There should be about, I don't know how many miles of curvature there should be there, but there ain't none. Wakey wakeys, folks. Wakey wakeys. Here again, this discounts. This is a photograph taken at the North Pole, and on the 8th of September 2015, and this is an eclipse. So what you see is the sun and the moon. The sun is below the moon, and so there's no syzygy at all. It's a lie, and Rahu and Ketu cause the eclipses. Thank you very much. I enjoy telling forth truth. I enjoy it very much. Here is Vishnu with his four arms, Narayan, Krishna, creating all these bubbles, all these cells, and they all come from the one cause, and we live in one of these. It's all there in our cosmologies. Nothing is hiding. It's all in plain sight. Here again is one of Brahma's worlds, a material world where we are born, suffer, and then die. So to escape this, we have to escape this sphere, and we have to grow. We have no choice but to grow. And here is the Vedic cosmological system. And what you'll see at the top is the pink lotus of Krishna, Vrindavan, which is the unconditioned everlasting abode of the Empyrean, where all of us are destined to be one and with the Creator. Not just be, a creator, but we will be with the Creator. Below that is another sphere. This is Vaikuntha. This is where Vishnu abides, and this is a lower world, but nonetheless, anything above the middle, Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is this this plane here of the white light. This is where all the impersonalists are going, who think that Jesus and all of these are not actually real persons, regardless of whether they were historical or not. This is the point. Person exists, and then below that we have the world of this is what we live in, one of these universes. This is one universe, and here you can see the two diatonic octaves. In the middle is the Earth, below are 7 planets, and above are 7 planets. I'll have a look at that in a bit more in detail in a minute, because I can't expand it on this slide here. Here is the Kabbalistic system again. We have the 3 pillars, and of course in the slide before you will have noticed 3 pillars. Okay, so in fact, let me see if I can go back. Yeah, here it is. You can see there. Here is one pillar here. This line here is a pillar. The middle is a pillar. This is the middle pillar. This is the Shushumna. And the outside ones are Boaz and Jachin, or Ida and Pingala. And so here on the right, notice the colors blue and red. This is very telling. Blue and red are the 2 colors of creation. This is where creation begins, with these 2 colors. White is the source of those 2 colors, and white is the magnetic cause of electrical red and blue physical creation. So the 3 pillars are here. You'll notice those. This is what it is. We have 3 pillars, and we have a ladder. At the bottom is Malkuth, where we live on the earth. And then we have, here we have the sphere of moon. Yesod, Hod is Mercury. Netzach is the moon, Venus. Tifereth is the sun in the middle, the heart chakra. Chesed is Mars. Geburah is Jupiter. Binar is Saturn. Hokmah is Uranus. Kether is Neptune, and this is the ladder we climb. This is Jacob's ladder. Here we have all the domes. Why do they make domes? Because dome is domain, dominus, the Lord, the domicile, the dominion, the king dome, who built his kingdom in wisdom. Notice the word dome is, of course, Adam, dominus, atom, and then Wiz is Isis. Isis and Dominus. That's what it is. Krishna and Radharani, wisdom. I hope I haven't gone too fast. I'd love to spend 10 minutes on each slide here, guys. Here is the domes. Everything is domes. And here you see Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel showing the story of creation, because this is how universes are. They are domes. They are vaults of heaven, you know, above. Here again we see all the domes. Why are all these buildings built in domes? Because they are mimicking the heavens above, on earth. As above, so below. Here the eye shows to be a series of domes, and this is how we see. And that's why you see the Eye of Horus, the so-called Illuminati symbol, which is basically the sun in the sky, or Mount Meru, which is watching us, watching all things. The stars are watching us. This is dome structure. Our eye is made like this. Here we have the question again. How can a photographer take a long exposure photograph of the night sky if he is standing on a spinning ball? It is impossible. He would have to be standing right at the center of the North Pole. You cannot do it on a spinning earth. This is ridiculous. People, we need to take hold of our intelligence and understand these things. Here we have another alchemical view of how we get out of this, condition. And there you go. This is, again, the Egyptians. Nut. She was held up. She was held up by the night sky, by all of these meters, which show that there are cosmological forces which are keeping the firmament above us in its place. You know, the 4 angels and the 4 winds and and the creator instructs them to keep the creation composed. Here we have the UN flag, of course, hiding it and rubbing it in your noses. Notice the 32 segments of this circular graphic here. Very, very telling. 32 degrees of Freemasonry. Here we have the Gravity Globe Jail. G stands for enslavement, folks. It's not geometry. Well, it is geometry. But you see, it's the wrong kind. If they can make a universe that doesn't exist and put you in it and you believe that it works the way they tell you, well, all of your other senses and all of your other perspectives will be and are distorted.
And you'll be in jail, mental jail.
Absolutely, 100%. There it is, the Japanese CGI, quote unquote, image, magic Santa globe. It's about as real as Santa Claus, folks. All right, now I'm done with that. So back to me.
I'm
Sorry.